In 1989, as the Gipper was demanding Gorbachev to tear down that wall, the world was also reeling as earthquakes hit San Francisco, the Exxon Valdez tanker ran aground, and U.S. troops began to invade Panama. However, a far more important confluence of events was about to take place. The first successful liver transplant was in 1989, changing modern medicine and the way Americans consume their favorite beverages forever. Also, in small New London, Wisconsin, in the Sacred Heart Hospital on a gray November morning, Joey Glock was introduced to the world at 7 pounds, 2 ounces. And thirdly, the Anheuser-Busch Company decided to create a new product line appealing to Americans' taste for a lower percentage of alcohol. That's right, folks. It was the birth of a nation. Cold Cans Nation. Successful liver transplants, my mother introducing me to the world, and the beer we're drinking today, turning 29 next month, Busch Light. I didn't even stumble over it, but
That was a one-take wonder.
I was close a couple of times.
That's okay. It was good stuff for not having it written down.
Thank you.
You know, like that hack on that other podcast.
Yeah, the one that we emulate every time we do this. Go listen to Doughboys, everybody. It's better than our show.
It's much better.
But we're back.
We're professionals. We're back. We've been off for a long time again. Another month.
We've been off for a month. We've been busy.
It has been a busy end of summer.
Yes.
Start of fall.
Yes, we've been traveling a lot. It's good, but we've left Cold Cans Nation behind a little bit, and it's exciting to pick it back up. We're in your living room. Your roommate
listeners' living room.
We're in Nick's living room today because we're watching Game 2 of the NLCS, the Milwaukee Brewers. It's currently the middle of the fourth inning, and it's a 0-0 game. So we'll keep listeners updated as that changes.
Yeah. Don't watch the game. Tune in the following Friday.
We'll tweet this out now so you can go ahead and stop watching the game. Don't look at the scores, and then we'll give you play-by-play for the rest of this. There's a commercial going on right now where a hipster is looking at her cat. Your roommate's also working behind us, Eric, in the background. So we'll try to be respectable to keep his productivity going.
And I hope that's reciprocated.
Mm-hmm. And we're drinking a very important and kind of intimidating beer in our lives.
Yeah.
Busch Light. How are the first sips going down for you?
It's very smooth. I like it. It brings back memories. These are ice cold, too, which is a big part of it.
They're ice cold, and they're Kevin Harvick brand Busch Light.
Yeah, they got a big number 4 on them.
Yeah. So I'm assuming Kevin Harvick drives the Busch Light car.
I would presume. I love that there's also a beer sponsoring a NASCAR driver, if that is the perfect pairing.
Isn't there
very parable?
Isn't there like a Miller Lite one, a Budweiser one? There's of course a Budweiser one. Budweiser used to be Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Is that who it was?
I think so, right? Didn't he have Bud?
That sounds right. I don't know.
Maybe
it's like Caligula shit now. We're just mixing unregulated drinking with fucking 300 mile per hour cars or however the fastest they go.
And nobody bats an eye. This is the world we live in.
Yeah, it's fine.
This is all fine.
I want to buy alcohol every day of the week. No regulations on timing.
There are no rules.
That's what we're doing. And now this weed regulations or lack thereof.
Have you heard?
Canada's going down the shitter, Joe.
Well, yeah, to hell in a handbasket. The only thing keeping this nation together is our president, who is the great deal maker. We should
get into some more Twitter debates with folks.
I'm not going to drop his name. I was going to drop somebody's name that I got in that Twitter war debate with. But it's not the time nor place. We should start the episode by catching listeners up.
Sure.
It's been 3 weeks. I don't think, I don't think we had intended to take 3 weeks off. I think we just got busy, but we're back. And our history with Busch Light is that of, I'll just come out and say it. It's unhealthy drinking with this beverage. I think this is going to be the first time I've ever sat down in my life with the intent to just have a couple of one or two of these.
Sure.
This is by far the most sessionable beer throughout the course of my life that I've ever drank.
Yeah. They had them in the bubblers in high school, I think. They're
Yes.
just a keg under the...
People aren't even going to understand that joke because no one will have any idea what a bubbler is. Well, I guess our listeners will.
Yeah. Drinking fountain, whatever. But yeah, this was definitely the drink of choice for our crowd in college.
It's, in my opinion, it's the lightest tasting beer. It's lighter than Coors Light, Bud Light, any of its contemporaries. There's almost no flavor.
Too.
I think it's because it's so light.
Yeah, because there's no flavor.
They're not trying to do really anything at all.
Busch Light says this is brewed longer to create a lighter body and fewer calories while always delivering that classic taste. Lighter body, delivering... That's like you coming out of your mother. You were delivered with a lighter body than you have now.
No. Just like Busch Light, though, in 1989. Was light was that setting the precedent? No, Miller Lite was the first light beer.
Yeah,
so
I think
must
so.
Have been
they were
late 80s.
Playing catch up.
Right. Same time as the craft beer movement, which is interesting. With companies
the early craft beer
diverge
movement,
different directions with what they were doing. But yeah, so we drank this. This was absolutely the go-to beer of choice in college. We had our good friends, loyal listeners of the show at J.O. Knows and at Stodiac participated in the the unhealthy level of drinking for these beers. We would get them in kegs. So this is what we got in kegs. This is what we got in Wisconsin anyway. It was 30 packs. So they would come in a big box.
I had the option to get that today, but I went with 6 Tall Boys instead.
Yeah, we are drinking Tall Boys. I think is that why it's Kevin Hardwick? Chris Hardwick branded? Yeah, that's problematic. Is it or is this like a permanent? This has to be a temporary.
Oh yeah, there's no way this is always on there. I'm sure the 30 rack might have had it. I didn't look. Yeah. The only thing I looked at was price per fluid ounce, Joe.
And
these were 5.2 cents. 30 rack, 6.3 cents.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
Automatic.
Yeah, that's automatic every time. But yeah, we would drink 30 racks of these. We'd get kegs of these, and basically, like, you couldn't even really measure the amount of beers we were drinking at that period in our lives, especially when a keg was introduced. Like, who knew? Oh, yeah, we got a 1-out base hit with Jesus Aguilar. Who knew what we were?
Did you hear Joe Buck in Game 1? He was saying Aguiar.
Oh, really?
He thought it was
whole game.
Joe's not the whole game. Early on, and I think someone told him that
producer got in his ear.
Yeah,
I think Joe's at the point in his career where he's showing up, and that's enough.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't know how much he's doing.
He still puts in a nice.
I like Joe Buck. I'm not a Joe Buck hater. Okay, but I also don't think he's going as far as he used to. He's so established at this point. But anyway. We basically used to drench ourselves in this beer.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I was young, but I didn't get hungover as much drinking this. It's probably because it's so incredibly light.
Yeah, hydrating almost.
Yeah.
And probably because, we were in better drinking shape.
Yeah.
It's when you give it up. You do like Joe Buck and you get complacent with your binge drinking. Like he does with his broadcasting.
Then there's no turning back. But I can, like, as drinking, like, 4 or 5 sips of this, I can already see myself being able to, I could drive a few of these down. I could put these back.
That was also why I didn't get the 30 rack, because I told you before this that I'm like, I want to keep it to 1. Yeah. I want to just, like, because it's the middle of the day.
It is.
It's 2 p.m. here.
If people know, the NLCS Game 2 is on the middle of the day. But it is a Saturday.
It is.
It's a socially acceptable time to have a couple too many.
It is. But with all our travels and stuff, I've been, like, out of town, haven't had time to just relax. I've been cleaning my room for the past 2 days, cleaning the apartment.
2 days
it was
of
necessary.
Cleaning your room.
Well, it's like
Nick
organizing.
Nick has a penthouse. Yeah, a loft.
We're talking 350 square feet of luxury.
The vast majority of which is your enormous bed.
Yeah, I got a California King.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, speaking of the Gipper, or as commonly called, the Jelly Bean Man.
Do you know why he's called the Jelly Bean
Man?
Yeah,
he loved to eat jelly beans. I'm not making this up. So Ronald, just let me give a little Google research.
Did he have Alzheimer's at the end of it?
Yeah. I mean, I think he may have had Alzheimer's during it. Who knows? I'm not going to go too hard. He began eating Golett's mini jelly beans as part of his successful attempt to give up pipe smoking.
Oh, okay.
And they began to call him
So it was like the
jelly bean man.
Fixation thing, like mouth fixation.
Oral
thing.
fixation.
Oral
and again,
fixation.
he was, as we all should understand, he was quickly deteriorating from a mental capacity while still in office.
Oh, he did have Alzheimer's.
Yes,
Which
he did.
they say is type 4 or type 3 diabetes. Some people theorize that it is.
So you
Jelly
think there's a connection
beans?
between the
Yes,
jelly
I
bean
do.
man and his...
I'm putting this together.
Jelly
I'm going to
beans...
post on Reddit. Oh, come on.
Moose just hit a
foul
deep
ball.
foul ball. Jelly beans have, probably even more so than donuts, have no nutritional value.
Yeah,
there's
it's all sugar.
nothing.
It's like marshmallows.
It's just sugar, yeah.
Just sugar.
But it's even marshmallows to me, there's something like, at least that feels maybe like a mushroom, like it at least feels like, it's soft, feels like something that could possibly be in the world. A jelly bean is a chemically, it's a tablet that looks like a pill that's made, and it's just sugar in it.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
kind
the
of like
most
jelly
foreign,
beans. I'll
grossest
say that.
thing.
I like jelly beans.
I'm a gummy man more than a jelly man.
Oh, really? So you don't like the hard exterior?
No, I just like there's nothing
I like
redeeming
that
about
aspect
it.
of it. Because you bite through the hard exterior and then it is the jelly.
There's not even really jelly. It's just like gritty.
Well, it's like it's. I wouldn't say it's gritty. Maybe once you get it mixed in with the exterior. I ate a lot of jelly beans as a kid, though.
Did you? The jelly
They
bean
called
boy.
me the little Gipper.
The little Gipper. Oh yeah. So the JBB you were when you were a kid. I never had jelly beans in my house.
Really? Okay.
We were gummy worms. I would get gummy
I
worms.
don't like that. Just the gummy.
Really?
Texture, yeah.
Oh, you can chew on it. You can pull on them, and they're fun.
I would just stuff it up in my gums, like wrap it around. Get the double horseshoe of gummy worms.
As you were eating jelly beans.
As eating jelly beans, yeah. Needed that hit. No, one gross thing that I used to do with Skittles as a kid was chew up Skittles, get a big old wad of Skittles, and then put it in my lower lip as if it was chewing tobacco.
Oh my God, Nick!
And just keep it in there.
There are levels to that being messed up. The emulation of chewing tobacco with Skittles is
my very own Big League Chew.
Yeah, you're on your path to Alzheimer's, my friend.
That's the old me. Now I'm fixated on alcohol consumption rather than sugar. So
yeah,
I'm
much
healed.
Much healther. Oh well, when you're rooting for a team like the Milwaukee Brewers,
It's true. Yeah,
I mean it's pretty much ingrained,
baked
in your
into our
bloodstream.
culture. Yeah,
And with 29 years ago, the modern miracle of science, and who knows what they'll come up with next, pulled off a liver transplant. There's no looking back, baby.
We're all disposable and reusable.
Yeah, we're just meat bags. Abuse me. Oh God. So,
What are your take on Front Row Amy?
I think she's fine. I think so. For the listeners that aren't Brewers fans, and I mean, probably the vast majority of you. Well, no, probably the vast majority of you are. Anyway, the Brewers have this staple of this woman who sits behind home plate. She's been there. She takes book. She has a
Keeps book.
robust set of features. And they call her Front Row Amy. She's here right now, and she's sitting by the guy that I really am not a big fan of, which is Marlins Man.
Yeah.
He wears all orange Marlins jersey, orange Marlins visor. He's part of the whole Barstool gang of podcasting. And like this game,
He didn't start out that way though, right?
no,
He was
they
just some
latched on to
guy.
him,
Yeah.
because he'd said at Marlins games, and so now he's making this about him because we have to look at him because he's standing out.
Well, and he has like a hand puppet with him.
Yes,
I didn't
like a
know he
cat.
did that. Yeah.
So this is about Marlins Man now, and not about the NLCS. I
How
don't
does
know.
he
I'm not
get
a
these
fan.
tickets too? Like
Probably
these are all
Barstool. They're probably
premium tickets.
Giving him, I mean, you can buy anything though.
You can,
I-
and he's like a lawyer, I think. So
Well, I guess the thing is like, you know how when a streaker runs onto a football field,
love it.
but at least it's like, that's a fun distraction, but let's get back to the game. And they tackle him, and then we go back to the game and forget about it. In
there the
baseball,
whole game.
you're just there, and they can't really remove you. Like, this isn't about you. I want to watch the game. I don't know. They got to do something about these personalities behind home plate. I'm not a fan.
These bad actors,
Yeah.
these bad hombres.
They are some bad hombres.
Okay, what else do we have here? Busch Light is part of the Busch family, which includes Busch Heavy, Busch Ice, and Busch NA.
What's your take on Busch Heavies?
I don't think I've had one.
Really?
Almost, yeah, maybe ever. Certainly not one to my recollection.
Is Busch heavy with the guy from at the end of No Country for Old Men? The banquet beer. No, that's Coors.
Coors.
But I thought he did a Busch thing too, or drinking a Busch. I can't do it. But
Which
I think that
No
might be a
Country for
Coors.
Old Men?
At the very end, he's at the bar.
Josh Brolin?
No, the old guy. He's also in the hit TV show, Ashton Kutcher show, The Ranch.
Oh,
He's
Sam,
the older man. Yes. Elliott? No.
Sam Elliott? Yeah, that might be it.
Sam Elliott? Anyway, I thought maybe he was part of Busch Heavies for some reason.
Maybe. Yeah, it is Sam Elliott.
Okay, Sam Elliott.
Sam
I'm
Elliott
glad we got
and
there. That
Busch.
was pretty good. I don't even know how accurate it is, whether he actually is.
No, it looks like he's just done the
Coors, the banquet beer. Yeah. Busch is just not really like an available thing. Their flagship, for sure, of the Busch brand is Busch Light, right?
I think so, yes. Even in the store, like, it's all Busch Light, and then you could buy sixers of tall boys of Busch, I think.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And it's so like I am sure that these beers all started off different, but Anheuser-Busch owns, for instance, both Budweiser and the Busch brands. Like, what is even fucking distinguishing these things apart from one another? Like,
I don't know.
They're both just mass market. Like, do they have a unique set of flavors at this point, or what are we even doing here? Like, why are we?
So is Budweiser's not brewed in like St. Louis, like, or is it? Is that also
something we should know?
Anheuser-Busch?
Yeah, where is Busch beer brewed?
Well, it's in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah. Well, the Anheuser-Busch...
And we can drink this now because the Cardinals are out of MLB.
Yeah, so Anheuser-Busch operates 12 breweries in the United States and nearly 20 in other countries, which increased recently since Anheuser-Busch InBev SA/NV acquired SAB Miller. So the brands include Budweiser, Busch, Michelob, Bud Light, and Natural Light. So between Budweiser, Busch, Bud Light, and Natural Light, like we're not doing much to differentiate anything at this point.
Sure,
it's just like a way to get more beer on the shelves.
Yeah, and they can probably price fix a little bit when they do own all of them.
Yeah,
but it does come down to the branding then, which is a big thing of what we've talked about on this show with like Rainier and Olympia. All those, it's all about branding. It's all the same piss.
The Busch brand, it all translates to the same piss. The Busch brand is a strong one. Like we talked about it being on NASCAR. It is part of Anheuser-Busch, so it's like it's definitely associated with beer more than like pretty much any other brand name I could think of. I mean, Budweiser, but anything other Anheuser, it's one of their pillars. Yeah.
By the way, if you were wondering, the name, likeness, signature of Kevin Harvick, and the Kevin Harvick Incorporated logo are trademarks of Kevin Harvick Incorporated and are used under license from Kevin Harvick Incorporated.
Just to make that very clear,
Kevin Harvick Incorporated.
That Kevin Harvick is Kevin Harvick himself is under the umbrella of Kevin Harvick Incorporated.
Yeah, he's under contract for life.
And he's got no liability here. If you drink 16 of these and get behind the wheel trying to drive 300 miles an hour down your city street, you can sue Kevin Harvick Incorporated. Fine, but Kevin Harvick himself, he's protected. He's protected. Just like us, we're protected for anything we say because this is for entertainment
Cold Cans
shows.
LLC under entertainment. We're part of the E network,
only. Right? But it goes down really light. It's smooth, I should say, because it's so light. I thought that we were going to crack into these and wax poetic about college days, ripping these in beer bongs. I don't know if we brought this up on the show. You know how when you pour a beer bong, you got to wait for a while for the foam? Not that I'm advocating anybody take this tip or advice, anyone listening.
No.
But you know how you have to wait for a little bit for the foam?
Yep.
But the disgusting thing you could do is swirl your finger in the foam because the grease on your hands, or you could wipe your nose. It just was disgusting. To solve this...
The alcohol kills the germs, Joe.
Well, we went up the disgust meter in our household. To solve this problem, we stuck a piece of budding beef. So you could buy... There's this brand, Budding... I think it's a national brand. Budding Beef.
I think so, yeah.
I think it's out here.
Buddig.
And it's like fake meat, pretty much. You've heard of fake news? We're talking fake meat. And it was like 75 cents for a package of Budding Beef. And one of my buddies, Tony, one of our roommates, would eat a whole Budding... I think it was Tony. He would eat a whole Budding Beef package in a sandwich. So it was all part of one sandwich.
It's a one, yeah.
Yeah.
One use only.
A single shot. But anyway, we would take the butter beef. We would strip off the top one layer of it, and it's very thin. And you plaster that to the inside of the beer bong. You pour directly onto the budding beef piece, and there would be it would be pure... Cuts the foam right out. And then you rip that beer bong.
Did you transfer any of the beef flavor into the beer?
Who could say, because you're beer bonging it, you don't have time to taste it.
True.
It's just going down the gullet.
True.
And then, of course, there'd always be like, who's going to eat the beef after a few of these beer bongs? And somebody would eat it. It's just horrendous behavior. Really, almost inhuman behavior.
That's like ingenuity, though.
Yeah, I guess. Sure. It could be looked at like that.
That's fun. I never did many beer bongs in college.
You weren't a beer bong boy.
I wasn't a beer bong boy.
Keg stand boy?
More so that, yeah. Because once a competition would get going of who could do it the longest then I would
stand.
get in.
I never got into like the idea of a keg stand needing to be this isn't meant to be a brag or anything, but it kind of just felt like I could do a keg stand for as long as I wanted.
Oh, really?
And I would just be done after a certain point. Like a beer bong, you do it and you were at capacity, and like, once in a while I couldn't even get all of it down. I'd go, oh, like it would get you to capacity, but a keg stand just was like,
the flow felt natural.
Wasn't that... Maybe I did a lot of them without it super pumped up.
Yeah.
But it was just like I'm drinking, and you could like almost... I guess you couldn't stop. That's the thing.
Right. It's constant swallowing.
That's a daily basis. I don't know. I felt like I could do them for a long time, and it didn't feel like a particular challenge, like a beer bong did. So I wasn't a huge keg stand guy just because I don't know. So being upside down, what are we doing there? Why couldn't we?
Suck. Well, that's the hardest part to me.
Well, so, yeah, I mean, so
gravity's not on your side then.
Right, that's true. It's just uncomfortable, but it wasn't like I'm at my limit. Tony, same Tony that would eat single shots of budding beef, the budding beef boy, the BBB. He would gargoyle. So instead of going upside down, you perch like a catcher on top of the keg. And then you can just drink it without being upside down. And that a more pleasant way to approach this.
Life hack.
The gargoyle method.
And you don't need friends then, too, because you're supporting yourself on the keg.
Yeah.
No friends to hold you up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, some of us were big boys. Were, no longer. But we were big boys. And so a keg stand really required some significant effort.
Some beef.
You have to find the right budding beef boys to prop you up. What other... I mean, of course, we played beer pong. That's a classic staple, and Busch Light was good for it.
In the cups, yeah.
And, people get a little rowdy, and somebody would say, we got to do full cup beer pong. It was usually near the end of the night. Somebody would say, like, we're going to fill all of them with full cups, and it's an impossible task. We would play card games as well. Flip cup. Flip cup's where you're drinking a little bit, and then you flip it over, and you go down. I think, to me... Flip Cup is if we're gonna have a nice fun beer party, it's the game to get everybody like going.
Hammered.
Well, yeah, that too. But also like
yes, it's a good way to start the night. I would agree with that.
And also because it allows people to like meet each other.
Yeah.
Beer pong, you're kind of
to
watching
meet each other.
Yes. Beer pong, you're kind of watching the four participants play, and everyone else doesn't have a role.
Right.
So they're just sitting there.
Right.
And like a game like baseball was one where you'd line the cups up, and then it was a combination of beer pong and flip cup. That was also kind of like involved. Flip cup was just super simple mechanics. You could have a conversation with strangers. You match up.
You hook up.
You matched up with the person across. Yeah, I know. Nick and I were matched up a lot. He'd be pushing people through it. Okay, match up, guys. He and I would be together. But I don't know, it's a great like community game, and the party gets to know each other.
I agree.
I think it's a great way to kick off.
I agree.
Way better than like card games.
Yeah, card games are tough because it's just yelling at people who don't know the rules.
Rules.
Flip Cup's very simple. Yeah. And we're watching the sausages race.
Should we live narrate this? So
they got a GoPro on the...
They got a GoPro on the Polish.
No, I thought the Polish was in front there. Or is that the bratwurst?
That was the bratwurst. The Polish is number 2, I believe, with the stripes. Bratwurst is the German guy on the left, and he looked like he took it today.
Okay.
What were we talking about? Oh, card games. Card games, it was always like, do you know the rules to this card game? And there'd be some jackass who just sat down and was like, no. And then, most of the game is describing those rules, and they don't know how to play it. The problem with card games is that usually the built-in mechanism was assigning drinks. So you'd be like, I won, whatever this game is.
Right.
Therefore, Nick, you got to drink 4.
Yeah.
And then someone else would be like, yeah, Nick, drink 4 more. And then you'd get to these ungodly totals where you're drinking 8 beers or something
It's
like that.
Reaganomics, the trickle-down drinking at a party.
Trickle down your chin. Oh, yeah. The Jelly
All
Bean
the drink
Man.
tokens go to the top, and then they decide where they go. That's how it works. It's a successful way to party.
Yeah. It's not...
And
card
run an
games-
economy. Card games are bad when you're getting to know someone. When it's like close-knit groups.
Yes.
Eric
Hold on.
Kratz banged one up the middle, but
Nice
right
play to
into
get
the
him out.
shift.
Yeah, when it's like 8 of you that know each other,
Yeah.
great. But when you're having a party, put those cards in the drawer.
I will say most of these games from college I don't remember. I do remember beer ball. All our times playing beer ball.
Yeah, it's the best beer game
It
in
is.
the world.
It is.
Do you want to give an explanation?
Yeah, so you're playing like wiffle ball basically. It's usually 4v4. There's no running by the base runners. You're up to bat as long as you're getting it in play. The person on deck is drinking a beer. They
Yes.
can drink whenever the ball is in play when you've hit it.
So unlike most drinking games, that drinking is positive for your team.
Mm-hmm.
Most times it's a penalty, like you got to drink a couple drinks as a penalty. With beer ball, it's
Man.
we might see a home run here by the Milwaukee
Orlando
Brewers.
Arcia.
Oh, yeah. Home run.
Oh, hell yeah.
1-0 Milwaukee.
Our 8-hitter. Hell yeah.
We were just talking about how he's been hitting lately.
He has. In the postseason, like the Rockies game, he had like 3 singles in the first game.
Yeah, I think he hit a home run somewhat recently too. But just like Orlando Arcia just did, you hit the ball out into the field, like Nick says, as long as it's not a foul ball, a swing and miss, or someone catches it.
Yeah.
That's how your at bat's done.
And this is wiffle ball, wiffle bat, if I didn't
right.
say that.
And so you hit it into the field. When it lands on the grass, the other team has to get the ball back to the pitcher's hand rule. And until that happens, the person on deck is chugging their beer. And
Yep.
every finished beer is a run. So it's a positive thing. The best.
It is.
just the best. But you need some space. You can't. That's a day drinking activity for sure.
Yes.
You need space and outdoors.
Well, and that's probably why it's nice too, is because it's always summer and nice outside whenever you're actually playing it.
yeah.
And it's a fun game because there's always controversy with whether the can was empty or not. Like, you
Yeah.
got to turn it upside down.
It's one of
Then
those
you argue
games.
whether it was foam or not.
Yeah, that's just foam. It's just foam.
Should have kept some Buddig in my back pocket to throw in the can.
Yeah, but all of these, everything was applicable with Busch Light. And there's really not that many beers that you can say. It's just the ultimate sessionable. Because not just are you able to drink it, but the price point.
Right.
Buying a
Cheap as
30-pack it's the cheapest light beer. It's right there with like Natty. We haven't done... I don't think we've done another one that's the cheapest hell. This is in the cheapest hell bracket. Have we done... I think we did Bud Light. That wasn't cheap as hell. That's a notch above buying a Busch Light case. You check it out. What website are you checking out?
I'm on coldcans.podcast.com/rankings, going to the bottom of those rankings.
Yeah, this is deplorable.
Milwaukee's Best Premium, I think, is pretty
Okay,
cheap.
but we never really went for the Beast.
Olympia, no. Miller, yeah. So yeah, this is the cheapest, most economical way to get through college.
Yeah, it's so solid for everything that we're talking about. There's really no reason as an adult to be drinking a Busch Light. It's squarely in that, and not that we would advocate for it. Look, back in Virginia in the 70s, 18 was a legal drinking age. But
So the seniors could drink.
yes,
Many of the seniors
and
could
I
drink.
like beer.
Still like beer.
We both, the Cold Cans boys, still like beer. But from 18 to 22, that's the Busch Light zone. All right, that's what as you go through phases of life. You go through your adolescent years, your infancy to adolescence, childhood.
Sneaking Mike's Hard Lemonades out of mom and
Preteen,
dad's.
yes.
Yeah, that's infancy.
Preteen.
Well, no, infancy, you're getting it through your mom's milk.
We've been doing a lot of birth talk on this.
That's how you started the show.
It's true. And then, your preteen years, you're looking at, the wine coolers. And then teenage years are when now you're experimenting. And then you have the Busch Light years. And that's squarely in that 18 to 22 range. Not that anyone should be underage drinking. I'm just talking about Canada
Are you
here.
reeling in the years? Chugging away the Busch Light.
And so then at like 22, then you become this pretentious asshole where you're like, I only drink IPAs now.
That's you. That's so
not
you.
me.
Yes, it is. Now, I only drink
cheap
fresh
beer.
hop beer now. That is what the recent development and has put quite a crater in Cold Cans Nation, I would say, between you and me.
Have you heard about fresh hop beer though? You can only get it in the autumn months.
Oh
your
my
boy.
God.
What's wrong with fresh hop beer?
It's
fuck you.
Fine. You were just like the last time we were at Chuck's. I would just like get a Pilsner or maybe a pumpkin beer because it's that time of year, and you come out. I'm only drinking this fresh hop beer here.
Yeah, that's what I say. I sit down and I say I'm only drinking this fresh hop.
You
beer.
were sitting
Wade
there.
Miley 2 for 2 on
Nice. The pitcher 2 for 2. We got Brandon. What's his name?
Woodruff.
Brandon Woodruff. Cranking a homer.
Yeah.
How great is it to have
cranking.
the 6'4", 250 guy from Mississippi just cranking home runs? Takes me back to another number 4, and no, not Kevin Harvick. We're talking
Chris Hardwick.
Yeah.
No, Brett the Jet Favre, the New York Jets legend.
Yes.
No, fresh hop beer is good. Fuck you. It
Tell
tastes
the nation
good.
about it.
Cold Cans Nation. Get us on Twitter. Let us know if you love fresh hop beer or if you're a Pilsner boy, a Pilsner pilgrim, a Pilsner peasant.
A Pilsner plebeian.
Yeah, damn it. That was the best one. All right, let's keep this bullet train going. Are you nearing the end of this? This
Yeah, I'm getting close to the bottom.
This speaks volumes, though. We've been doing. Been on air for what, 20 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes, and
Yeah,
we're
maybe
not
30.
and we're not finished. What?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Is it 'cause
We're at a
it's
different
daytime?
stage of life. And we
after
got
Busch
a
Light.
lot going on here, which I was worried would have a bad pod. Is this game going on in the background? Because I do want to watch it. This is big Brewers playoff time.
Yeah. Well, this was. I want to say your idea. You were like, let's do the
No,
watch the game, do the.
I think it's
pod.
cool, though. I think it's fun.
I think we're having fun. I think the listeners are having fun. They're on their commute to work and they're having a good time.
Yeah.
They're
They're sitting there staring off into the distance, thinking about being in college the last time they felt the will to live, surrounded by their friends.
Oh, our listeners are doing just fine in their life right now.
I'm not saying I'm immune from this.
Oh, okay, I got you.
By the way, Parabellum Terrible.
Yeah,
before we get
let's
too
move it. That's
far
what I was
here.
going to try to get through this.
So this past weekend, you and I were drinking a lot in Northern California at a buddy's cabin.
I
Only
only
fresh-
go to Northern California and drink fresh hops.
They mix it with wine, and that's the only way I'll take it these days. That's Joseph H. Glock.
Oh, God.
And we also bought a lot of frozen appetizers and pizzas
did.
to eat.
We got
and it was
disgusting.
disgusting. Oh! Lorenzo Kane getting
that's
the double
gonna score,
down.
Not going to score Wade Miley. Oh,
Yeah,
it might score Wade.
trickling down.
They're going to
Send
send
his
him?
ass. Nope, they held.
Okay, so we got a double here and guys on second and third with one out. That's fun.
Nice.
We're having fun now. So we got to talk about like what our favorite frozen apps were. Like when
Yeah.
you're throwing shit food in the oven.
Right.
What are your favorite things? Yeah.
And one of the ones we purchased was bacon, or not bacon, but bacon-topped potato skins.
Baked potato skins. That's
Baked
I think
potato
what you were
skins,
going
yeah,
for
yeah.
there. Yeah.
And you say you didn't like them.
No.
Tell us why.
I think there's nothing to it. It would be like, just getting some fries, throwing fries in the oven. Like, we were in a mode where we were going for apps. And baked potato skins is just like potato. And there's no flavor there, and it's dry, almost always dry. The cheese doesn't melt right. It's kind of just sitting in there, and it's not. There's something wrong
I think
with the
you're right
cheese.
you're right about the pre-made ones. I think if you make your own potato skins
Oh.
and then top them.
That I'm totally talking about frozen pre-made
Gotcha.
potato skins.
Okay.
So like buying the TGI Fridays ones
Right.
are awful. If I'm buying apps, I'm buying matzo sticks first and
Those matzo sticks we had were terrible, though.
that was a shame. And those are TGI Fridays brand.
What happened?
Is that Yum brand? No. What's the chain from Doughboys that they always talk about? I think it is Yum Brands.
That's like Taco Bell, KFC.
Is TGI part of it?
I don't know.
Consult Doughboys for this answer. So
Yeah.
the matzo sticks were bad, but then that's my 1A, my 1B is White Castle microwaved burgers. And
You were
everybody
touting
was
those.
shitting them.
I only drink fresh hop beers and eat White Castle microwave burgers.
Everybody was shitting all over these fucking burgers, and I put them in the microwave and I jammed them down people's gullets, and you all went, "These are pretty good." I guess they're up to my standards. I'd prefer loaded bacon skins, or whatever the fuck you were trying to say earlier. No,
the
White Castles
they
were
were
good.
fine. They are fine. Yeah,
The white cheddar is what does it. Honestly,
it is
it's a
nice. It adds a
touch.
nice texture to it.
Yeah.
It's just weird because it's like a steamed bun, which I feel like you don't usually get with a burger.
Yeah, and you are microwaving it in their plastic.
Yeah.
And you're just trusting the
They're
White
specially formulated.
You're trusting
plastic.
that White Castle is doing the right thing there. So I agree. The steamed bun is no good. You can cook them on the stove.
Yeah. There were stove directions.
With the
And
bun.
It involved putting about an inch of water into a pan and then elevating somehow the burgers above the water and bringing it to a boil. It was something really weird.
You don't deconstruct them. It'd be like if you bought like a mobile phone video game of cooking, and it like in the mobile phone character would take a hamburger and put it in like on the pan, and then the hamburger would be done. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't play mobile games, Joe. I have a job.
The idea of cooking a hamburger as a unit together with the bun and the sauce and the cheese all on it, we're going to take that and put it on the stove and cook it, is ridiculous.
Yes.
But apparently White Castle could do it. So that's my favorite. Those are my favorites, not baked tasting. What are yours?
God, I don't even know. I don't care. Let's get to the Parable or Terrible.
No. I care. What are your favorite? What's your favorite frozen food?
Favorite frozen like app reheated thing?
You can go like the enchilada, taquitos. I know what your answer is. You're just not thinking about it because you went fucking wild. I only eat these when I cook, and you were upset that we didn't have a certain condiment that went with them. I think these are your favorite. Come on.
Oh, pigs in a blanket?
Pigs in a blanket.
Well, yeah, pigs in a blanket, yes.
Is that your favorite frozen app?
It might be.
They're good.
Because those wieners were juicy.
They were fantastic.
They were
didn't need
Nathan's.
the mustard.
They were Nathan's beef dogs, and the oven was too hot. We had a lot of weird things with the oven.
Well, Nick dropped the pizza in the oven, and it was
There were some
upsetting. What happened?
How
there?
frustrating is it to
It was
drop a
awful.
completed frozen pizza?
It sucked. What did you put the tinfoil
I
in?
did
'Cause
not
it
put the
seemed
tinfoil.
Like you were upset about someone else putting the tinfoil in. Who do you think?
There's a
was it?
conspiracy. No, it wasn't
Was it the guy in the
wasn't
back
the man
here
behind
working?
you. No,
So do you think it was
there were other
friend from-
bad actors involved.
Was it a friend from not native to this great country of ours?
Hey, I'm not at liberty to say,
all
but
right.
yes.
They're not listening.
And so you never frozen pizza goes straight on
Nick,
the grill.
yeah, Nick was
on the grate.
So we were making, for context, we were making like 4 or 5 frozen pizzas. There's about 6 of us in a cabin. We've been drinking. We're ready to eat. We did have one.
Yeah, we had one which is very poorly done. It was put
boy.
onto a baking sheet and with tinfoil underneath it, aluminum foil.
You can make pizza on a baking sheet. Like
If you want a soggy ass crust,
No, yeah, the baking sheets have to have holes in the bottom. I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a pizza sheet
then that's perfect.
and it's perfect mostly just for getting it out of the oven easier. So you're not sticking like the cardboard in. Hold on, this
this'll
base is
score
loaded.
one.
No. Yeah, it scores 1. We're good. It's 2-0 Brewers. So the pizza, we were eating one. There's 6 of us there. It's not enough. Second pizza came out. Nick drops it in the oven.
Let's talk about what happened there. Because
And-
it was somebody again put it on the baking sheet on the aluminum foil.
Right.
And so I went in there and said, no, I'm not letting this happen again. Took the baking sheet out,
Yes.
left it on, couldn't get it off of the aluminum foil.
Right. And so trying to pull the foil out, I think
So then when the pizza was done, yes, I was trying to get the pizza off the foil, but it was stuck at a certain point.
Yeah.
So I have the cardboard insert under there trying to
Yeah.
like wedge it out. And then the pizza slid off the edge, collapsed on itself, and went in the
it was
bottom
all
of the
over.
oven.
It really was
all over.
The foil is just unnecessary. There's just no reason
Yeah.
for it. It's just going to cause those problems.
Yeah.
So that wraps our section on frozen apps. Did we even try these?
No, a
chips?
conspiracy was afoot here, but we can get into that in future weeks.
Former weeks.
The Parable of Terrible for today is inspired by Joseph's hate of potato skins. These are Ruffles loaded bacon and cheddar potato skins flavor chips.
I think what I'll say
We've
is
eaten 3/4 of the bag.
we
before
have.
we got
Well,
to
so
this.
I'll just do one more for the sake of the Parable of Terrible shtick. What I'll say is that the flavors of loaded baked potato skins, cheese, bacon, sour cream, chive, and potato, are all great. I mean, potato and potato chips is a little redundant to have a loaded baked potato skin flavor. So these are great. And they go really well with Busch Light, of course.
Yeah.
So
And Ruffles alone, I mean, the texture of these things. It's the
You're a
perfect,
Ruffle boy.
perfect potato chip.
they're good because you can dip them, but you don't need to dip them like Tostitos.
Yes. Yes, they're thick enough too. They're not the original Lays or anything.
Right. The original Lays are good, but yeah, you can't dip them. Mm-hmm. So it is a good medium. So I think these are very pairable.
Nom nom.
Nom nom. All right. Let's get to the... First of all, let's get to the mailbag before we jump into the BA score. So I have some people upset about us not, releasing any podcasts. Our good friend, loyal listener of the show, at Brooks Maddock, tweeted us late last night and said, Cold Cans needs a commissioner that will keep the boys in line and on schedule. There's only one man for the job. He's alluding to himself. He'd like to be the commissioner of Cold Cans. So I think you and I can hash this out on air. What do you think? Are we going to introduce him, and then what are his job roles? So I told him at some point we're going to call him and discuss logistics of this.
Okay.
I think what it is going to be rounding up beers to send USPS to Seattle. We'll figure
he
out.
Lives in Portland. He can drive them up here himself.
So every weekend he should drive up a fresh couple of beers.
It doesn't pay well.
Yeah.
He covers all expenses.
Meaning doesn't pay well. It doesn't pay. You could have stopped it short if I had to edit that a little bit. Brooks, we will be in touch.
Brooks can import some beers for us. He's our international connection.
Oh, now
that's how we expand worldwide.
From Cold Cans Nation to Cold Cans World.
To Cold Cans Cranberry World. He knows every cranberry producer in the world.
Maybe we should just turn this into a cranberry podcast.
We should.
We're
all about bladder health.
Are about what you've always
You got a
wanted.
UTI? Tune into cranberry cans. Cold cranberries.
Cold cranberries. Brooks, we'll be in touch. You'll be our commissioner.
Zombie. That'll be our new theme song, because the cranberries.
Oh, wow.
R.I.P., whatever her name was.
I the whole time had no idea what you were going for.
The hit song Zombie.
Yeah, no, I got it now, by the Cranberries. So that's all I have for mailbag.
I got another mailbag from loyal listener J.O. Knows. He said he had forgot to tell me about the Taste of Madison story. Taste of Madison is this really fun summer festival on the Capitol Square in Madison where there's beer and food and music. He said he wore his Cold Can shirt to the Taste of Madison. He went to order a beer, and the 60-ish-year-old guy handing out beer says, Now you gotta go get a cold plastic cup shirt.
Oh, very nice.
He then chuckles approvingly at his own joke, and I laughed awkwardly and walked away. That's J.O.'s story from the Taste of Madison.
That's fun. The shirts do get some attention. I mean, you want to be recognized on the street, go to coldcanspodcast.com/merch.
We got about 4 T-shirts left to sell. They're in my bedroom right now.
In the process
I wear them every night. You can get a host-worn Cold Can shirt. Even the smalls, yes, even the smalls. I squeeze into.
Puts them on some part
Put them on my thigh.
Yeah, so I am moving. My wife and I just bought a house. So
yes,
very exciting.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to
Congrats.
that. The empty can sound. So I'm moving, and I was unpacking my closet downstairs, and we do have some extra shirts.
Oh, there
as well
are.
at my
Nice.
house. So there are shirts, boys and girls. Get on that.
Closet-aged Cold Can shirts.
Yeah,
They
they're gonna
cost
smell like
$30. Yeah.
Well, that's cool, JL. It's good that we're getting recognized. Next time, tell them to subscribe to the podcast. All right.
By the way, did you know Busch has Busch Bucks? So you can send in pictures of your receipts from buying Busch beers, get points to redeem.
There's a manual process where
you have to upload Busch receipts or complete activities on social media.
Oh, no.
And then redeem your points for awesome Busch prizes.
I spend all day completing activities on social media, so that should be no problem at all.
As you know, I'm a very big Bing Rewards fan and user for quite some time now.
I'd venture to say literally the world's #1 Bing Rewards fan and user, yes.
You should talk to the Bing Rewards team at Microsoft.
Honestly, I'd say
you know
check
this
your
man.
telemetry.
And oh my God.
Yeah. Do you know this IP address? That's the IP address. Yeah, they know you for sure. I bet they could look you. I bet. Well, no. I bet you're the most conscious Bing Rewards. You're like in the top 1% for sure of the most conscious Bing Rewards players.
Probably.
In existence. There's probably a lot of people who use Bing because it's the default search engine on Internet Explorer, but man almighty. So you're going to get into Busch Bucks?
I might.
Complete
the
social
uploading
media
receipts
activities?
is a bit much for my taste. That's too much user responsibility, but yeah, maybe you could use Busch Bucks to buy some cold cans merch.
Oh yeah, maybe get on it, guys. We're gonna do an integration. With
Send us your receipts.
Yeah. Please don't flood us with receipts of your Busch.
All right, Beer Advocate.
BA score, my dear boy.
The Brian Anderson score on Busch Light is 1.86 out of 5, or awful.
That close to an all-time there.
I think that is close.
Uh-oh. Okay, and what do we have a power user here? Second doubting themselves. Usually you're on these. You find good ones.
What can I say? Says Chala. I like Busch Light. Goes down smooth and is very refreshing after hot days of yard work. Very crushable, and you won't feel full afterwards. Cheers.
Yes, that's spot on. If you're doing a hot day's yard work, you come in and crush some of these. Absolutely.
Very crushable.
I think.
Should we swap out sessionable for crushable?
I don't really like crushable. I think that we're trying to be like, social
that's
media
too
savvy
hardcore
or something. It's a little much. By the way, Wade Miley going 6
I'm
innings
into the
here.
more loving stuff.
Yeah, the going 6 innings here is crucial for the Brewers. They needed to save their bullpen. That's fun.
It is.
Good, Wade. All right, let's get into ranking this. So, my assessment is that this is the most crushable beer we've had, the most sessionable beer.
Though not fresh hopped.
Fresh hop is not sessionable. It's very sippable. God, Nick. You can drink many of these. You do not want to sip any of them. Like we sipped them during this podcast, and there's just nothing at all to this. It is.
Yeah.
People
light.
say a beer tastes like water. This actually is really close to water. It's super light, but that's not a bad thing. And of course, we have a long storied history in college of drinking just exclusively this. By far, without a doubt, I've had more Busch Lights in my life than any other beer. And it's not. I don't think that's close.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, I have strong feelings for it.
Okay.
And I would put this at the very top of the deplorables rankings. Where do you have it?
Yeah, like I said, I don't remember it as much from college. Like, it wasn't. I don't think I was ever conscious that it was Busch Light that I was drinking at those parties.
Yeah.
So I don't have as much of a connection to it, and I feel bitter about that. So we're going to put this pretty low.
Really? Wow.
No, I'm kidding. Top of the deplorables is fine.
So
it's
I
better
would have
than
it
Bud
at
Light
48.
Lime. Yeah.
Just ahead of Bud
Let's do that.
I like Bud Light Lime, but you got to. Price point is a big thing. We didn't really mention
this is
that.
probably half the price of Bud Light Lime or something like that.
Yeah. And I mean, not to mention, I'm a huge Kevin Harvick fan.
Yes.
And so
I condone
Kevin.
Everything Kevin Harvick does.
Yeah. I would love someday to work at Kevin Harvick Incorporated. They have desk jobs, I know. They have the cubicle farm over at Kevin Harvick Inc. But I'd love one of those jobs. It'd be an honor. Okay, so it's our 48th best beer of all time.
Of all time.
Cold Cans boys are back. We're sorry we took so much time off, but we'll be here guiding
We're reborn.
your drinking habits. We're reborn from 1989 to 2018. Still going strong.